about the 13th congressional district. We're moving away from the Democratic politics, of course. Well, it's still Democratic politics.
Yes.
Try to see the nexus, though, between the governor's race and the congressional district race. Is there a relationship? So,
Well, in the sense that, like, first of all, the 13th congressional district is in a state of flux. And again, the leadership of the 13th congressional district, I know you've had Jonathan
Right.
Kinloch in here before, but, I really question the brand of leadership that Jonathan is exhibiting so far. There is friction in
Right.
that organization. And all I can say is that if Me Too ever discovers Marie, it's going to be an interesting situation because that's the sister that's on dialysis, that stays active, and she's made contributions to Detroit over the years, both in the education community and in the community at large. And she has a very serious assault case pending against that leadership right now. It'll be interesting to see how that plays itself out. But right now, it's leaderless. There's no congressperson that can vote for the 13th congressional district, and that's due to a deal, and it was a deal, cut between Jonathan Kinloch and Governor Poison Snyder. I mean, this is a guy that should be in jail, and he delays the election in Detroit for nearly a year, disenfranchising an entire congressional district, and no one seems to have an issue with that within the leadership of the Democratic Party in the 13th district, at least no one that makes decisions. And that troubles me a great deal in terms of what that district's ability will be to get out the vote of individuals that don't go to 13th district meetings.
Tracy, your take.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see who the 13th congressional district endorses. There have been a lot of names bandied about, but there's really only been, a couple of announcements. One is Attorney Michael Gilmore, who has taken up the issue of no leadership in the 13th congressional district for 11 months. He's filed a lawsuit in a federal district court against Rick Snyder. So that lawsuit will be interesting to see how that shakes out. But Mike Gilmore, he's in the race himself. Other than Michael Gilmore, we have Senator Coleman Young, who's announced that he's running in the 13th congressional district. Everyone else, it just seems to be.
I don't believe Ian Conyers is a joke. I don't believe Ian Conyers. He's a state senator. He's already holding office. He's won office. And people have voted for him before.
But Ian Conyers hasn't announced yet. He made a statement, and I believe it was in the New York Times, that he was going to run, but he hasn't issued a formal announcement. And listen, I'm impressed with Ian Conyers, okay? I've seen him up on social media, like the speeches that he gives. I think you're going to see a long future for this one. But will John Conyers III run?
Or will someone from that side of the family run?
Right.
We have to keep our eye on that. We don't know what may happen there. All I can tell you. I don't know anything.
Okay.
The only thing I know is I don't know.
Okay.
But I do know one thing, and that is that out of non-predictability, you can almost predict some action. By that I mean there clearly is some friction between factions of the Conyers family.
Yes.
And face it, no matter what some of the political insiders may believe,
Right.
Monica Conyers is a demonstrable product in terms of an ability to garner a vote. No matter what the political experts or pundits may say, don't be surprised at anything that comes up. Little John, as we've known him affectionately, John III, if he decides to run, he would be very challenged at this stage unless he has enough money to define himself in a manner that millennials and even younger folks would.
But you raised a good point. What about women candidates? Okay, Monica Conyers might jump in, but then what about Sherry Gay Dagnogo? Okay, there have been some rumors that she may enter the race, or even Mary Sheffield.
Anybody that wants to run should run. I was listening to Reverend Wendell Anthony, and the worst thing we could do is try to have some group of insiders determine the so-called consensus candidates. How can we have a consensus candidate when there's no demonstrable level of leadership in the 13th? Who would make that decision?
Yeah, but
Who are
Sam,
the people that would make that decision?
what I would not like to see though is a bedsheet ballot with all of these candidates.
And then
from
Bill
Detroit.
Wild gets it?
Well, I don't think Bill Wild would get it. I think Dave Knizia could waltz in and get it because we have to remember that the 13th covers not only Detroit, but Highland Park,
it doesn't seem
Romulus,
like
Redford,
Wendell
Garden
Anthony.
City, Dearborn
Doesn't
Heights.
seem like Wendell Anthony would want Bill Wild or Dave Knizia.
No, I heard what the
Well,
Reverend said earlier.
but then what is
He
the
wants,
contradiction? And I hope you're
candidate
listening,
for Detroit.
Reverend Anthony, because is there not a contradiction between wanting one that looks like Detroit, behaves in the ideological spirit of John Conyers, and then Wendell Anthony, you endorse Mike Duggan?
Oh,
What's up with that?
good point. Mm-hmm.
Hello.
Hello.
All right, let's go to Reggie. Let's take it. Reggie, you take it up from there. The 13th congressional district race here for Congress.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone.
Hi, Deputy Chief. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. Hey, when we talk about the 13th congressional district, that district is made up of 699,214 people, okay, with no representation. When I look at the U.S. Constitution, Article 1, Section 2, Clause 4, when it deals with vacancies and successors for Congress, it says when vacancies happen in the representation from any state, the executive authority, which is the governor, therefore shall issue a writ of election to fill those vacancies. Okay? A writ of election is ordering the holding of an election. So if the U.S. Constitution, and according to the Michigan Constitution, in fact, in the 11th Congressional District, when Thaddeus McCarter resigned, not the governor, but the Lieutenant Governor, Calley, he said that the Constitution and the Michigan law forced him to fill that seat.
Within 4 months.
Okay? It happened within 4, 6, I got 6 months, but I mean, it wasn't months, it was
Right.
6 weeks.
Right.
Weeks. It wasn't months, it was weeks.
I'm talking about when it was filled, but go on. Okay, go on.
Yeah, but so my whole point is, if it's the law and it's the and if the U.S. Constitution states that, then what the hell the governor calling the mayor, the county exec, the Secretary of State, and Jonathan Kinloch for? All you got to do is follow the law.
Well, he has
Well,
said it.
yeah, he did follow the law. I mean, the
Thank you so much,
question is,
Reggie.
he has called for a special election. Thing is, it runs concurrent with the regular election. So, and you raise a good point about the whole Thaddeus McCarter resignation and how quickly that seat was filled. People see that as a disparate treatment. And so there's a lawsuit filed in federal court. We'll see how that shakes out. But I would have liked to have seen an earlier special election. It could have occurred as soon as May. Now, I did read where Jonathan Kinloch said that her holding an earlier election would not be fair to candidates, that would not give them the opportunity to raise funds.
That's bull.
I don't
Jonathan Kinloch is
really
full of it.
buy that. I think that seat needs to be filled as soon as possible, especially with everything that's going on. And then the governor said that it was an issue of money. Now, I've heard a figure bandied about as high as $2 million, but it goes by I believe it goes by the precincts. And by my calculations, it would have only been a little over $500,000.
It doesn't matter what it costs. What is the price of democracy? Democracy is a priceless
agree.
commodity.
I
The reality,
totally
months
agree.
ago, I said, Channel 4, the DIV covered it when I said that the governor's action was shameless racism. That was for any lawsuit or anything.
Yeah, but my
and
point
the point I'm making is that
much money
no.
to run a
But
special
what I'm trying to
election.
get to is the bean counter mentality of Governor
Yeah, but that's
Snyder.
where he
It's
comes
the
from.
same
That's his
mentality that poisoned 100,000
Yes.
people over in Flint, Michigan, under the guise of saving money. And
Absolutely.
democracy is a priceless commodity. You can't put a price on it. You poisoned 100,000 people. Pregnant women are aborting in record numbers over there because of that. And now here you come with that bean counter mentality enabled by handkerchief head Jonathan Kinloch. Give me a break.
Let's go to Ray. Ray has a question or comment for Tracy Martin and Sam Riddle.
What's going on with Ray?
Ray, are you there? All right, let's move on. So here's the deal. So we talked about Greg Martin before we went in a break, though, but he was not in the race in the first place, but gave this signal that he was going to run, or he has an interest, actually gave an interview to the Detroit News. And, you know, by all indication, I think there was expectation that Judge Greg Martin was going to run, but then he eventually decided to back out and issued a statement. In fact, he and I texted each other. He was scheduled to come on this program because I was expecting that he was going to run. So we scheduled it. We texted each other. He texted me back saying that he was on vacation when he gets back in town here and there. But once I read that, you know, basically that statement, I was like, okay, well, there was no really point for no interview here. Let's move on to the next story. Tracy.
Well, you know, I know Judge Greg Mathis. In fact, I have a family member, an attorney who went to law school with Judge Greg Mathis and represented him some time ago with personal matters. But, you know, based on my knowledge of Judge Greg Mathis, I never anticipated that he would enter this race. You know, I could see him maybe formulating a run for Senate. But for Congress, I couldn't see it, especially with his very lucrative, successful career in television. So I'm not at all surprised to hear that he's not going to pursue it. But, you know, it's interesting. Judge Greg Mathis did say something about he was waiting around to see what Benny Napoleon was going to do. And, you know, we don't know what's going on with that situation either. So, yeah. So I never thought that he was actually going to enter this race. No.
You know, having name ID is not tantamount to winning an election, because with name ID can also come op research. Very few of us are
Opposition
pure.
research.
Yeah, and I mean, what I'm
Skeletons in the
saying.
closet.
Well, yeah, some of us like me, we don't have any skeletons.
Oh, yes,
it's all out in the open. But there are others.
You're an open book.
There are others that do have skeletons in the closet.
right.
I'm not casting aspersions on Benny Napoleon or Judge Mathis. I think both of them are fine gentlemen. Benny Napoleon has shown an uncanny ability to run piss poor campaigns, though.
Well, it would be interesting if Benny Napoleon gets into the race, but I seriously don't. I don't believe that he's going to get in either.
Here's what was being talked about in the political grapevine, that there was a meeting with Benny Napoleon and several other folks who were seeking a consensus candidate. And when Benny Napoleon was approached, we could not confirm this, but what we're hearing from folks who are close to the people that were in that meeting was that Benny Napoleon actually said, in fact, let me offer you Judge Greg Martin.
An alternative, yes.
Right. And so, but now the question is whether Benny Napoleon would get in the race for the 13th Congressional District. And still there is nothing about whether he's still going to run for, whether Gretchen Whitmer will select him for lieutenant governor.
I don't know. I just think we ought to have a free fall and have at it.
Right.
I mean, all this crap about a consensus candidate. Who are you, any of you, to determine who a consensus candidate is going to be? I mean, let the people decide.
Right.
Oh, but we're so divided. There ought to be enough of us to turn out to where that wouldn't be an issue, unless you, there were